Hey, na waman no emu ayedene ana emu ayemere Ghana for say waman no emu nhyeda anya dene Akufo-Addo adarema waba enuema no aye koso no bibia ye okay kama.
Oh, Dr. Renza, as I'm with the mention as a president to cry any opportunity. Na or ye media encounter now be son as I say way. Despite the character trait I want to I'm not sure say he will be able to gather the courage to look Ghanaians in the face and tell us Ghana is doing well. No, Ghana
Hey,
is not doing well.
and I didn't know one person will break 8.
Oh, and who say you have no power say. So Africa, no, getting political power is a different ball game altogether. And ruling or leading people or like bringing to bear a certain transformational change, are different. So we are good at doing politics to capture political power. But what matters the most are using that particular power to ensure that we cause change in society by making sure say economic space in me I certain magic be but my say the whole essence of governance leadership politics must gear towards making life better for the people, but we are good at doing politics to capture power, but what to do with that power no is a problem I facing in the whole of Africa, trust me. Because I keep telling people say when it comes to human resources, the richest, the whole of the continent. When it comes to UFO population in as a format. But how to leverage these numbers, this UFO population to ensure say we're able to cause significant transformational change in the economic setup, that has been a major problem. And most of the African youth, are useless. There is no enterprise I think say we are useful to. So and do na now me sure say na we need have a conversation. A bit stuck up in Libya, some are in modern day slavery in Egypt, some are in the Middle East, some are in Europe. A binum at the detention camp. Obi a Ghana near young boy or energy BBA or the detention camp for about 3-4 years away Italy, Spain and other places. So actually I say you take governance at say now you who the value of human resources are. We will rather be fighting to prevent people from exiting the shores of this country. But the political class who they use as nuisance instead of resources. So and until who
Oka a year about say amount 40 detention center or no. Atwema adwene aba a year in Europe a year elections are a cost. Now
yes.
we share the way a year change na a beginning. And the number one issue Emma change. Emma woman sa aban no ejina a year immigration ho. And they say womususu say nipa dodo no eba wo mu kuro mu dodo. And enti ekwan a eso mo fa so a almost stop boats de enkofo ebe wura wo mu krom no ho nhyehyeye no political parties say omotetete so yi omontimi nye ho adwuma bia nti no ene uba eye UK a yasesa conservative a labor ene teso okọ France nso so a eye wo masesemu a Macron party nso efiri so it tells you say ye kwa animu no the conversation e wo Europe ni na akoye say ye mbo ye kro ho ban eme ma obi amba be wura kro nim na yanhwe ne ya na se enso ya nkyekere ye de ne anya de ye a that means say ebedu mre bi ne de ba mu kra no mpo no se ebenyemu aba no mpo no ebe ye de ne.
Yes, it's true. It's true because you see, so recent times, Nema says, idea ba a clamp down on this globalization among for pushy for globalization among for still a hold on to domestication. They said in recent times in America and as a foreigner, some of these terrorist activities in Nema course and why we say hardly and will be free UK best or could Nina has to do with foreigners who are able to infiltrate the country for whatever reasons or munya crime. But again, whenever you have mass infiltration of foreigners coming into the country, a creative competition in terms of job opportunities and employment. For instance, you free hako you go do US pay conditions, say your money $5 per hour or who be the but ebia citizen not to come no expect so wait when you $20 per hour. And this argument say why nya foreigner be minimum dia make sense what ya. So that kind of way na ordinary wote my man ka won sabe ka no obi aba o be yes adwuma no sa situation they see South Africa recently I confirm that xenophobic attack in ya almost in Nigeria for Ghana for omunuma because where you expect say you can engage your employers for better conditions of service no obaka cha say ko onkwa Nigeria ni beye ko onkwa Ghana ni beye. So sa niyama way a create a whole lot of challenges in as for and in the US for instance if you look at the number of people who are trooping in through Mexico border and as for normal in a day, you can have over about 10,000 people crossing the border to the United States of America. It doesn't matter the space I walk. Where a day a time will come, and a create a whole lot of situation, insecurity. Now, not to say, some of these immigrants, them, and the money police for no press, Obiabo police need to work because they want to enter and the police were resistant. They've been New York, they've been that straight. So a whole lot of we are creative. So this some of these agitation there cause our ground, will inform policy choices going forward, and it will get to a time the political space in the to regulate how many people can get in at any point in time. And then the immigration laws, dinner or papers and then as for so it's a signal back to those of us in Africa said we have these huge human resources at other countries here below. Why can't we make sure that we leverage on these numbers and put them to good use? But such a conversation, one to say will be a activity. Dr. Ryan, what does around a panel with Ghana radio new conversations? None. And they focus on human resources. No, about politics, a project among for agenda. And that agenda not geared towards making somebody better or consolidating the position, but how to create viable economic incentives. Young people betting entrepreneurs. A man for betting set up factories and industries. I'm Ghana for now, Kasayo, Mojumano. That conversation, we are not having it. So we continue to have this challenge. Europe, as for the UK, South say, Yasha say, Sandy Amman for Rwanda, and other places. And maybe Bedru is going to get worse. You understand? And you see, Maka, if you go to Europe and other places now, you see the way some of the people treat even black people, then as far sometimes, a disincentive, a motivate a man for because where you think that you are even better than your counterpart or your white, but because of your color, they see you, they impugn you, they look down upon you because of your color and where you're coming from, your background, everything. But it could happen that you have a superior and a better mind than the other guy. So some of these things, are there, but I understand not economic environment trust me. I have spoken to a number of Ghanaians living abroad. They tell you such a sika ye making a buchira has no senka menya half of crowd Ghana, trust me, coming to crime. But one to crime abeding Krona team no the only aduma a function with Kroma is a woody party achi obetia sorry and answer obey a beggar we would radio so a yesiko fancy job and then as a forum. That is the only thriving enterprises in this country. But these young people doing these manual jobs within them.
Yeah, but true. We say the only a thriving Ghana
Thriving enterprises. Either you join the political bandwagon, either you open church, being in the war council to be said no on the Jesus Christ. It's about them same way. And now say. What say yes, a massa politics, no, you be yes, a massa, and we put in Simuna, one who defended, which your friend saying, Sergio Ramos, defender, and a go, the I said, no, what I would see, you have to defend. Over here, Sicila, the package, by you who Paul, I don't watch the TV, so giddy, I said, no, but he was defending the issue. That is, but you see, Nipaya who win, there be a mechanic. Nipano so ko school, one co school. Say Onimadio, say Oyari or Tiapo or Yakra or Penino, Obia one innate potential and characteristics, say with more. Say or minor create a certain incentive platform there. We can leverage to bring the best out of people. But we don't want to do that. And that is a problem. So I think that is the kind of conversation that's a Yashan Wahani Yehu Hawa. You bet me at changing the face of our economy. How I bet me, I'm more humanly centered. Now I involve young people, because the biggest threat I face every nation across the globe has to do with youth unemployment. Whenever you hear agitation is going on in the UK, people are protesting against immigration policies and so forth. It is all because of unemployment issues. Because UK doing themselves, the more black people, no foreigners, and I do my best or South Africa is the same thing, America is the same thing. So that competition, it creates a whole lot of stuff. Sometimes hatred, but I said, the only time you travel to US, you can say, holidays about baby, you don't go and live under condition that somebody will be at the liberty to disrespect you, talk to you anyhow, and those kind of stuff. So I think that the ecosystem a failure on our part, and it's not just Ghana. If you look across Africa, the signature is the same thing: poverty, disease, unemployment, lack of innovation. That educational system is poor. Even sewage.
Live 92.4 FM. DAB+.
This is 21st century. This is 21st century. World Bank am I over $43 million say sanitation project cleaning gutters in go back to Accra and in so toy the whole of circle after there Nasikano a big minister not them, and you have people who go through the hustle when some of these challenges is here. We are the people defending some of these things. At the end of the day, minister walk away with this huge sums of money as or the project and we need them. So there is a problem. Me sometimes me feel say politics no mum na yentiasie, and people are not ready to learn. Because the mere fact is that me NDC ni, the mere fact is that me MPP ni, the mere fact is that me ebia CPP or whatever no. We think it's you must defend everything that goes on within the party. But in politics, it's never like that. You're supposed to ensure that the party as a vehicle does the right thing by making sure that you're prioritizing the needs and the welfare of the people. At any point in time, the party or the government will renege on these essential responsibilities as we rise and speak for the people. And that is what the media has to lead a particular way. But it is what it is. So I think we need to do a lot to reverse the conversation, change the narrative, and reposition our politics in such a way says more of any emotions, never more of invested wisdom and intelligence into politics. Now how you go about our activities.
Joe Abushema menka o say yenua Ivan Innocent Kyei na etwetwen komono the background here medical na afi so ye social commentator wo kire na adwene na I know say Ivan who came na o ka asem no e de madwen etwe madwene call asem an saying the majority leader abeka say Ghana parliamentarians for no mo nhwom ho ye na woman hwem ya na no asem a esi wo Kenya no ebi betimi esi wo man Ghana mu because ene ekom ewo krom eno anso omampanyini dada John Dramani Mahama enso editudwa emra wo meeti the media no editudwa say nsem a ekoso wo Kenya no ya hwani ya wo man Ghana no ebi besi wo hwe mabunu no wa mo start face the country a utimi say enye wo grounds a wo fa circle na wo nam dwomu a otimi se amanfo ebu afu pa Ghana so de unim se amanfo bufu ade omo ya ehyewo mu. Do you think say politicians no o man to omo nioma yi a wo kina bi no de esi ewo Kenya no betimi esi ana Ghana de yesom nyame nti no enya de asa bibi ebetimi esi?
Oh, I'm not sure. A bit me see and a seer, a best volcano. It will shock everybody. Listen, Dr. Ryan, you see, over the years, in a political environment, they are very often in a political setup, you used to control the people has to do with the various media outlets. And over the years, if you tune into all the traditional media stations now, you see a conversation to render the average and the ordinary Ghanaian ignorant and make them more emotionally active. Meaning, so if you get argument,
render
them ignorant and make them emotionally charged and active. So reasoning wasn't part of the old conversation and their course on the radio, any TV, and as a forum. So Sanema way render the average Ghanaian timid. Loyalty to party cause, loyalty to individuals, take key the paramount space. Ghana need new room. Maybe NDC is where the NDC goes. The MPP need whatever MPP goes. So never and I care to average Ghanaian under such circumstances, have a retain. Again, information wasn't flowing as it is now. Or first, even radio stations, TV stations, they don't say social media, but then with the advent of new media, technological innovations, people are consuming a lot of information. And once you consume information, it enlightens you. That is one thing people should get. Send the Panako school and answer one school. Once you have access to information, one or the other, it will enlighten you and clear your doubt. You become more intelligent and less emotional. So we had the course with Kenya now. Conversation started here. It didn't start on the traditional media. It started on the new media. President, you catch us, Papa. Bill, financial bill, what they buy. Which are seeking to introduce new taxes, and added taxes, and MYM because the economic condition of the country are worse. So it started like now I'm first person on my journey. And there before by and when the president took to Twitter. Our culture say Mumukacho almost say or more yes I man that activity I treasonous and that's or like to criminals. The following day tension heightened and all of a sudden boom. And the Kyei. And situation they see with Kenya and so the same thing NSC was Sri Lanka when the people invaded the presidential palace and took over the presidency and in the fear in Asifo. So a start here a spontaneous planet a boom and you see now and comparative analysis say okay if Kenyan youth are saying the economic condition in Kenya are worse than Asifo, what about Ghana? And I can confidently report to you say the economic conditions in Kenya is far, far, far better than the prevailing economic conditions in Ghana. Because Abra covered by Ghana was the second African country, the whole of the countries in Africa, the second African country to sound the alarm bell, say we need to declare bankruptcy. External debt obligations we can't service. Zambia and the first country to do that. Ghana was the second country. And then so from that time, basically now, inflation was somewhere around 54, 57, bank rate, all the economic in the
Rainbow Radio live 92.4 FM.
Yes, you're trying to say Ghana Bobosia a chain or my beer in this particular year.
Rainbow Radio live 92.4 FM and DAB+.
Ogusua wutie Rainbow Radio yene yenua Ivan ana edwetwen enkomo na se network insesemity no but enche obesan ababeka ye ho na mamenka onsusu se ebusua Ogusua wutie Rainbow Radio wasugusua wutie Rainbow Radio 92.4 FM say yehwese Ivan assign aba yenko na yen fa Ivan hello Ivan to asmaye say nana chewo ho hello nana
what's menka
yes yetunga sisia to asmaye MC the lusu kakra
So now make us say so we had the economic conditions in Kenya now compared to the economic conditions in Ghana. Then you might say and Ghana for youth are timid. They need to act in the face of all these things because Kenya for pride they need to do there. Now why are we here? But there be America, baby ya drew no kwame nkrumah can say say people of Ghana no omo your heart we can watch situation and let it get to certain extent. But so whenever you see that, don't think say they are fools. And as a omunim the echo, say Ghana for bufu no motisi kroma, the consequences no.
Rainbow Radio live 92.4 FM DAB Plus.
To remedy the situation so that we don't get there. Because Dr. Ryan, from 2020 up to now, so where the treacherous and the perilous political economic environment are Ghana from one babesi and now yet to me a survivor. I saw Bogan and Yabaso. Trust me. I will had a Ghana from within the last 3-4 years. We now still enjoying a stable democracy, and there hasn't been a single attempt to topple government. You know, say Ghana for there, and they do all this with the hope, say we've had successful transition over the years. So whatever worst situation here, it won't be. 2024 will give us another lifeline where we'll go to the polls and make sure that we effect change if it is necessary for us, and there is no need to take arms and those stuff. Because you see, when you go on that particular tangent, my cultures are we see a military rule. And first, now you might think that military no any politician, your military, politicians. And the one is our top one, I'm a soldier nearby. This time there, and your soldier a politician in a military uniform, no akofanaba. I obedience would mean canasem. So military rule is a no option for us. So I think that we need to navigate through these stormy circumstances and the situation very carefully. Make sure, sir, we don't cut the bad side of the youth. I'll go into a rampage. Now you're making sure, sir, we stabilize the situation. But unfortunately, those are more well the power now, they don't even realize how sensitive the situation is and how perilous the current situation is. It's business as usual. And that's what to say, and the Chief Justice, I'm sorry, said. And Supreme Court judges no extra, and you know, young Fabi make a whole lot of some Huna so now be say. So we have conditions of service in answer for you're making available to judges, ministers, and parliamentarians in answer for normal. That colonial transition I come now yet still I push it say now. What sense does it make? Said this crucial time you will be a sabi. Youth and your dumanye or minor expenditure is going high, revenue low, and the economic environment, very turbulent at the international space. And they to one year renegotiate your debt, and I know me to say, I see, international bondholders, or Matiasia, restructure 13 billion. Your bilateral creditors, restructure 4.5. Your friend is saying domestic, your friend saying bondholders. Restructure over 206 billion Ghana cedis. Yes, I never win in a museum says, I see Ghana yet to quite, you know. Mema made a bit and I saw Papa Nebabitia. Nina, we are so. So you see, the circumstances now you will know are very perilous. And I was expecting, say, government will realize this and act prudently, but it doesn't see itself, they don't care. And it's the reason why a Chief Justice at this point in time, Ghana, even though there were 15 Supreme Court judges in the history of this country. No, but yes, say you're 14 by then you're 15. I'll go through the process. Very soon they'll go to Parliament to become 17, and Chief Justice is still proposing another 5. So and then I young cross 14. They say Baba over by 22 at this crucial time. Wow. So Sanyama way and a shaman for before. Because if you sit down and you realize, maybe sika me da koto bond kwa na ban se me tighten me belt e kan wo ya adwuma aban to akatuam enema boosro na ekọ. And me, I'm ready to avail myself to all these circumstances by making sure that my heart on nema na aban is not willing to do these things. The average Ghanaian I will right to get angry. And I say you to also getting angrier, things will get out of hand. But I say I'm happy Ghanaians and taking laws into their hands like the Kenyan counterpart have done, because Kenya's situation is unfortunate. Dr. Ren, you can't Kenya without putting emphasis on the fact to say 30 young people lost their life in that particular protest. 30 young people were shot down by military and police officers. So who is going to bring that life back? Nobody. So I think that is quite unfortunate. And I don't want a single Ghanaian youth to lose his life because of somebody's greed, incompetence, and recklessness. If there is going to be a change, we need to effect that change at the pools. And your satisfaction then as a winner, we need to express it. That is why I love it when we have such conversations. And you open your platform to a lot of people. Come, tell people what you feel. Tell them. And if you get to a point where people have been oppressed, you are not allowed to express your sentiment and stuff, and then I give you rise to that kind of explosion. So I think we still need to do more to take care of the situation.
Abusuafo guso a wutie Rainbow Radio 92.4 FM. Yene yenua Ivan and Adrian Komo. Mamenka wo se ene going to green ahaban tea se menka nche wo se omo ye anti-inflammatory and stress relief tea a wonom a ebetimi aboa opa benefit no antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory effects anti micro bowel activity, blood sugar regulation, digestive health, immune system support, and relaxation and sleep aid. One more telephone numbers, 077 9623 6426 and 075 5252 7877. Bomodiana pe tea binom na going to green dear because o kind of brofocus me south up tea boa from dehydrated leaves etimi boa relieve relaxation and stress, traditionally recognized for supporting the immune system and blood pressure health. Enti bomodia na friend numbers ya mede atujano na pe tea ni bi enom yankasa no menumbi nti bomodia na pe tea ni bi enom yen toaswe na yen ko ora John Mahama enra omiti the Ghanaian media menim se wutimi follow ya.
Yeah, I think many accepts yeah, normally I prefer to read than to listen for some reasons. Yeah. I got a script and I was able to read through some of the key highlights now. Yeah, but the entire encounter there, at time I go through Nina. Yeah.
Highlights being saying when you boss.
Oh, I think about 24-hour economy, about corruption fight, and several others. Yes. Yes.
So far, we're reading your take on a highlight here. Owankasa Okinkan, do you find that say he's a person that Ghanaians should give a chance? Can he be trusted to do what he's saying?
I think in the first place, the mechanism is conversation of course availing himself to the media for that offense question as a for it's a plus, because in a democracy, that is one of the key things that we seek it so for anymore. That kind of arena must be created, because you see, citizens must be empowered to hold power bearers accountable. And to do that, and who's an OBB's questions, is it going to be a 9-day wonder? Say, by your president, because when you're looking for power, you can do a whole lot of stuff, like making yourself available. But power, we are.
To say about me, and the lectures you the my back to back. I was Central University say, hey.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Africans are good at doing stuff to get political power. But when they get power, what to do with it is the problem. So it's one of the key things I ever come from them. And then the 24-hour economy, by year conversation, among for air camp one I think that you see, it's a good start. But my issue has to do with interpretation, explanations, and then as a form of no air cost. I would prefer say certain blueprint will be rolled out, teasing out exactly what is going to be done. Because I would see most of the conversation also around it now. You don't just get a clear picture of exactly what that particular thing will be anchored to. You listen to people and they will tell you, so you better far more teachers, you better far more police officers, you better far more way. But around the last time I was telling you, said, if we have 10,000 teachers in Ghana now, and you triple their population, if you have 10,000 police officers and
Yeah.
you triple their population, such undertakings do not grow economy.
Yeah.
But rather, no, say economy needs to be generated, it put further strain on the purse of that country. So we cannot activate a conversation and say, you better teacher for double, you better wait. That's fine. It creates employment and as for. But the question is, where are you going to pay them from? So I'm expecting, say, the 24-hour economy must be anchored on industrialization only. So when you anchor it on industrialization, and a bit the economic expansion and when you anchor it on industrialization, activities no cost, and never bring it on stream, you need to increase the police, you need to increase the military, healthcare, and that kind of accompany when you now will come as a bonus. So there is the need to anchor the 24-hour economy on something specific like industrialization to me, because you can come out with a blueprint. You basic factories across all the 16 regions. A big factory, not as one factory, as a big factory, by identifying area way, region way, region way, and it's not going to be a small factory. Big factory. And because of African free trade, we can invade all the African market. You make sure that there is a already market available, serving the people of this country and then 7 countries around us. And for me, for instance, see a shoe factory, the market is already available. Because look at the number of police officers, look at the number of military officers. Now, among 40 Kroma import soldier from Pabwa from China, soldier from Tadia from China, soldier for way touching from China. So if we have a shoe factory, let's say in Kumasi, and yet just small shoe factory, a big huge shoe factory, a larger number of people and every year they have the contract to supply the police, military, and we can even roll in some of the secondary schools. We can even roll in some of the companies in as a form of war. Not yet, young fan to so. Ghana need young prioritize your local staff. And yes, several market has then we are looking at
Rainbow
other
Radio,
countries.
live 92.4 FM and DAB+.
Made in Liberia. So it means that because of this free trade, Liberia for taking advantage of infiltrating the Ghanaian market. So the question is, what are we doing to ensure that we also infiltrate that particular market? The last time I had a conversation with you, I spoke to you about sanitary pad. It's something about the 14 years to 14 in us. You use it. It means that the market already exists. All that you have to do is to make sure the production will go on uninterrupted. So if we can set up factories, I bet to me I produce some of these things. I don't know, you can run day, you can run nights, you can run, your friend said, oh, I think there is a noise going on with himself. What's here?
Yes, but Ejai. To us not a work.
So say the we are making these are specific factories that Ghanaians will buy from them. And you know, say when you are running, they will run 24/7. The market is available and people will patronize some of these goods. So if you're talking about 24 hours, I think that these are some of the specific, realistic conversation that has to be activated. Then you anchor the policy on some of these things specific. And the other stuff, I don't know, a bonus. But that cannot be the lead conversation. But rather, it should be the other way around. And I think that is one thing I want to put across. And again, a fight against corruption. For the years.
I'm saying now we'll talk about a year the 24-hour economy in Ukraine. From the minya every conversation, what I want to add on is offer a year to say the president Kenya will church me. Then it means the president no crabit me a charge a year the Ghana a year high commissioners what these African countries and say look will target ni rule amede maono I want you to bring a year a friend is saying a year the businesses no any baby chrono awono as the ambassador no. Now find the market for the Ghanaian businesses no. Senior the Ghanaian businessmen no be businesses na the alcohol. And then with the help of the High Commissioner, no, as the ambassador or Ghana, we see a name was our crew, no, a bit to me, this you may be to say, Ebia and Pabuan, ya, a bit to me, the accord to say Sierra Leone, say a year and Tadia bin ya, and him bit to me, the accord, a year Niger, a year bicycle bin ya, because him so mono, one more test resono, one more back, one more need Jim Hopa, a bicycle tree. Etino ebia manufacture ebia bamboo cycle cycles bicycles neja supply then the ambassadors na will be making sure that they will take up the front row no to help push Ghana made in Ghana on the countries are almost ambassadors na nkwa say ambassador ne de what one said the onu an say wonu muti na president babesra no a no makogina na akotwa picture na agi nchia but then this one no betimi a drive it the ambassadors now I'm almost waiting to find it the market no for the Ghanaian businessmen no senia womo etwa they will know say oh let me also look for the market Emma Ghana for no amuti krum no Ghana for no omo ebia Niger omo Bamako ebia omo a friend is saying Yamoussoukro Ghana for no omo ebia Togo no ejuma ben na wo Togo a ye wo Ghana ejuma ben na wo Ghana ebi ni Togo ebetimi dia ba pushi ye businesses no on the people to say the China for ye by force upe made in China no na one de nam UK one de nam ye Europe one de nam a friend is saying Canada one de nam Africa this 24-hour economy the senior working on one kasa papa no one kasa no on fa a friend is saying ho enkra tamra na ye ntimi debate ni ntimi ni ho nkomo ni entwato adwene ni enkyere baabi a if you say be a sin to be more be ye free and now bet me aboa na kakra mbese me de ka ho no na oko corruption no
issues of corruption ade ba ko a ade nya pa okroma no and from successive government up to now you don't see real commitment sometimes because the people perpetrating these acts are part of our government, and for that matter, no, we feel this reluctant dealing with them and are creating a certain market, a market of corruption. People feel fancy, people feel free to do whatever that they want. So I want to see real commitment where Hasha sent a certain innovative way. Like I said, these are some of the specific measures that may be used to curb corruption. Yes, he made mention of something that I was very happy to say. He's not going to allow his appointees to purchase anything government there. But that particular thing, it doesn't even make sense. Because common sense should be enough incentive to provoke, say, again, in charge. How then do you turn around and say, matter? You are buying because you have a privileged position. And that is something that we need to disband and discontinue from our politics. So I think it should not be just mere rhetorics. Because they are not fighting corruption. They are at some point in time. I shall protect the public purse. You see, politics, governance, leadership, go beyond some. So I think that we want to see a certain dimension, a certain innovative approach aimed at fighting corruption, irrespective of where the person stands across the political divide. Very often, what we see within a political setup is say, or NDC near or go after MPP, or MPP near or go after NDC. So, I had the course within the current dispensation. We've seen a number of corrupt cases. Our president Nankasa Kwane step up to clear the person. Investigative bodies in you're throwing off bed. They don't even get the chance to do preliminary level of investigation. At the end of the day, that commitment is not there. So a man for I get more motivated to do some of these things. So mere words ain't enough. But we need to come out with an innovative approach over the years. Idea has to do with corruption and we need to do something substantial, go beyond mere political rhetoric. Now, you institute those mechanisms, check fasten issues of corruption. And then, when it comes to political prosecution, that is one thing. One case of corruption, at the court over 17 years, or be 5 years, or be 4 years. So you see, So when I was corrupt way now, obi great me, be dinner some way no. So I know the day, there is no, yes, I know the day, and there is no deterrence. I deter Obi from doing some of these things. And I think that we need to come out with a different approach. Issues of corruption and so forth must be treated separately from other issues. And when we do that, we'll be able to at least frighten people, say corruption is a high-risk venture. If you hop in, you are not likely to go home. There are consequences. There are punitive consequences. A bit to me are preventing people from trekking on that particular arena. But the journalist says, once you are close to president, because I was down for them as a former, I think we cannot. But overall, I think he was on top of issue. Mahama there at the back when one say, or that's around Papa no or my addresser. He has the issues on top of his head, and I think the way and manner he expressed himself, he really did well. But what I'm saying is the 24-hour economy must be anchored on something specific and then generate a conversation. By your blueprint, now inquire free researchers, you know, not kind of free researchers. People were asking about funding and as a forum or buy an or and now today you see the problems I home. So I think the program must be well teased out for. Now we need a comprehensive blueprint. When we are rolling it out, people know say yes, this is the direction we are going.
Ebusia uguso a wutie Rainbow Radio 92.4 FM. Mamenchia eye Milton Keynes for eye nanaso akwaboa. Sanso ana mema eye akwesi tewia akwaba. Kofi osei enso atnase. Eye yenua eye Saposh Richard ana eye Kofi Fifi enso ewa hasei. Sanso ana yenua eye Yakubu Amin enso ewa hasei. Abusuan komo ayedie no nso efa eye man Ghana ho ye hwe eye enra eye mampini dada ohia eye media ensemo a wode tudwa na Ivan edien pa na ma fighting corruption no eye denisa obi wo opposition a otimi kan doko I shall protect the public purse eni esenka wo ye rapper dia nka me show say Snoop Dogg mo kra no ka wetu wo mo because the way I say a rhyme no and I will put my job on the line to fight Galamsey. If you want money, it's not in my government. Just say, and some of the old teams are born a tougher party and just a president of Kufuado. Now, what's name? A year 50 cent ni Snoop Dogg. A dear and a man fighting corruption, a year ding at the mao. Does it has to do with the culture? And now said the way I yet no. One could we be no one found Kofia. Because we minister crown pon when to me and sit down when to me and talk when to me and find a man crowd brutally does it has to do with a society now, you
I think culture can be and political party financing over the years, no shada nimrabia in America and other places the environment is well regulated. Sources of political party funding and so forth is something very often we don't pay attention to. So where political parties are getting their monies from, and yet will be interest. But these things, always there are strings attached. So people finance political parties, and very often I could find by is what is some of the conversations now cause what yet make us say the finance ministry anyway amount media bra we say. So at that point you are not thinking about competence. You are thinking about bringing somebody who will come and recoup the amount of money invested in that particular government. And that has been a bane. As any panobana or mess up, you cannot comment, you cannot talk about it because why investing in Sika, why buying in a woba? Bana wabumno or babetene kako. So when it happens like that, there is this lack of commitment on the part of the Aban of the day to remedy some of these situations. But if we have a well-regulated system where political party financing is regulated within a particular framework, where monies coming to the political parties can be tracked, how they are being used, then as a form, at the end of the day, you better reduce these issues of corruption to the barest minimum. Individuals, or finance a political party will not find their way into the government and in an attempt to recoup whatever that they have invested. It's one thing. And again, your culture, fasting some of these things. For instance, I said, the last time I was telling you, so BT class we're appointing so this year. Sunday no palm white and a yellow palm white and a map palm white and a bush of palm white at a powder. I can't have a pass or them. A Kodaya Miasi, a bit da for minute. Now, this year, I want a party. You need to go on your knees, pray, and see how the innovative ideas to lead. Well, leading people is not easy. Leading people should never be about celebration because it's a tough job. But on himself, a sika, a quina be or babia, and that's a tough fish in the young quine, what progress to again to different level. Now, quine everything black people, yesika, sana yes, levels don't change. And the ODD ones are free and therefore, side chick, therefore, not on account because he cannot also. So the mentality, the culture, and then societal expectation. We at DC, they expect to say, okay, yeah, over bonds are 500. Your friends saying, Sikakes, Okoma, Ultimate Sika, Bedu at them. And at the end of the day, you go to some of the MPs and then I say for the fear and a Nipo muguho maybe MP mbeji sika kwa ya wedding MP meyirawo MP me school fees in as for you see
me say ade ba kwa ba UK the ambassador papa usu ankoma woni me ye pa unya kon wo papa cho say ma ba yi de mamo expect say bia mo be kwa be pesike bi dia mamo because sika no kra ye ni bi ti say mo bi dia mo famre ye.
Yes. So that should be the culture. And you see, some of these things, and I'm saying political nipana when you to me, all seek say power. My cat say power in the here, Africans, yeah, power in the here, but the young start to use the power to good use, you need and they have to hold on to power. And it's about 40 billion crown or hold on to power, now he's okay. So we find a way to finance these people. Now ask yourself, says, you cannot they finance and no, but we check MP, the salary, and then allowances in as a form. So you see, culture now attached to your politics, and making it very easy for people to engage corruption, corrupt activities. And my culture said, as human as we are, if for corruption to thrive, it needs an opportunity and a space to thrive. So we are buying, all we have to do is to block that opportunity. And are we blocking it? No, I think that there is enough incentive to be corrupt under our dispensation. Because at the end of the day, there are no punitive consequences. Nobody has been driven to court to answer for. Nobody is being surcharged and answer for them. So you see, there is enough. For instance, so we have recently I say you renovating Ghana, your stadium, Kumasi, Accra, and answer for Sika, ya Pompi Akomo. Dr. Ran, what's your show? CAF inspectors came to this country to inspect our stadium, and they told us that none of our stadia and I fit for purpose. I bet in there a host to international state matches. Ask yourself, say, Sikana ya Pompeii into rehabilitating this infrastructure. No, say Sikano ekohan bottom. So political corruption, come in so many diverse areas. Now, no GMPC at Chesia Bonting. Just recent time, OCC AstroTurf, Krase, in fetching as a forum. And then we are saying, me AstroTurf, the other. AstroTurf, there in Europe and other places, and you are disbanded. And yet, idea and you see Bob one and as a phone, because people are going hybrid and other form of way, but that is what we are spending huge money into. And sometimes we see some of the cost and then as a form and krati sukumu kunyo better so muni suku dan but ye finance AC AstroTurf AC. The friends a constituency in the community we are the club action obi akwa nko ball after 1 year after 2 years so na tetia pansam so amamo no yebu no I say nim nyansa and sometimes as obi na ye say ayabro say ni nyina ye because nipa no ye that particular project because obenya bibia free ho political corruption and in the end nobody punishes anybody because after all I say yaban after yaban that is the narrative that we need to change. And to do this, that is why I've always been advocating that we don't need just a president, though. We need a president who is very strong, who is very ruthless, but very pragmatic. Sir Rollins type of leader, Nubia, the personality na, uhuna, wankasa wo ya dia kwa ubeshiki. That is the kind of leadership we want. A president who even his appointees will not feel comfortable around him, say, mess it up. That kind of respect. But over the years, that flat leadership, I give you people motivation. Oh, and as a president, the madam for no, oh, it's a way there, and it ends there. So I think it's something that we need to activate the conversation around. Now, how in a concerted effort, no, you bet me na you handle issues of political corruption. Now, a partisan debate like we see, yeah. Like we say, I could find I shall protect the public person, the public person. I shall do this, I shall do this. And then, if we need to have a solid, comprehensive, very realistic conversation around how you mitigate issues of corruption. And I think that is the only way. And yes, kasa will not get us anywhere.
Abusia Ugusu awutie Rainbow Radio 92.4 FM. Encheme be phone lines no na amanfo amopese mo friends so na mo so machre madwene. Na menim se nipa dodo no a etie no wo mo so